Well, the Utes are out for their first race of this season. It's Mason Barbera and Raul Harris sharing the front row. Marcus Zakanovic, Kim Jane in beside them. A Kiwi off the inside of row 3. We've got Maxim Eriksson in only his second ever weekend with the Utes. And a new guy, Christopher Formosa, out the back starting in the Baker's dozen position. So the battle here definitely between these Peters Motorsport teammates. Mason Barbera picking up only his second pole position in this championship. Raul Harris, the man starting alongside him, has won more championships than anybody. Now, this was due to be the last ever weekend for the Utes. But in a turn of events, we've decided to just delay the start of the new Super Ute campaign until next year, which means we'll go around one more time with the Utes. So it's a 6-round championship. The first race starting right now. This is for points. And who will be the last champion of the Utes? The defending champ, David Cedars, not here. His cousin is on the grid. That's Mick Cedars. And lots of families here enjoying the action, some campers. Good to see lots of young and old fans, blokes and women, everyone out here in Winton enjoying the action of the Utes, always a crowd pleaser. How is this teammate battle going to go? We say teammates, but there is a little bit of spite between these two on the front row.
Yeah, I'm yet to work out at the moment. You see Raul Harris is on the right-hand side there. So he's at a P2, that's the cleaner side of the track. So if he can get it hooked up, get a good run off the line, he may just get his teammate, Mason Barbera, off the line, who was the pole sitter.
We saw that in Formula Ford, the driver starting in P2, winning that race down to the first corner. The Utes are ready to go around for one last time in 2017. We'll start them here, we'll finish them in Newcastle at the Coates Hire, Newcastle 500. Waiting for the revs to come up. They don't rise as high as they would in a supercar, because you don't want to go spinning those rear tyres too heavily. Pretty even start on the front row. This will be tight down there at the first corner, always chaotic. And Barbera's aggressive, he won't want to give this one up. Slides in on cold tyres, he holds the lead. Kim Jane looking aggro as well in there, and Zakanovic's got a bit of overlap. He'll go up the inside with Matt Spratt in behind him, but it's Barbera who leads us down to turn 3.
Yeah, you saw that they all got a bit of a jump and then obviously bogged a little bit off that line, so they got a bit more grip than what they thought. Zakanovic's done a good job though. I think he's looking racy at the moment.
Yeah, he'll want to go with these front two drivers. The Ford's looking quick this weekend. Long turn 5, you have to be patient. Barbera almost needed 2 cracks at getting that one right. Harris closed up slightly. Not enough to have a crack though at turn 7.
Raul's a good racer. He knows how to throw a good move on, so if he gets close enough...
Oh, Crick cops a shot in the background. I think Tony Ordino got him. Couldn't quite see that far back. Enough to push him wide. And there's a change for position there. Cedars picking up one as well, and that's damage to the front of Cameron Crick. And Harris now through as well. So
we missed that.
It's all going on at the back, and it's going on to the front as well here.
I knew Raul, I was talking about him throwing a move on, but he did it in the shadows. We couldn't quite see that, but well done.
Nice
good
work.
move. I don't know whether Mason made a mistake or not, but Raul's he's definitely a good blocker as well. He'll try and hold him out. Mason, though, seems like he's aggressive. He's maybe a little impatient, so we'll see how this all goes. His nickname's Boom, so hopefully Raul doesn't get Boom into turn 1.
Zakanovic possibly missing a gear change there out of turn 12. Kim Jane breezing by in a straight line. Advantage Harris at the end of the first lap. Oh dear, that's Blake Skibberus, and he's got heavy damage to the left front and left side of this car. Has that gone in at turn 2? Look at that, that is a nasty hit.
Unsure whether he's gone in himself or he's been helped there. He was in a bit of a battle pack. Don't know if he can continue. There's obviously, there's no fluid coming out, but obviously there's a lot of cosmetic damage at the front.
Here's a chance for Barbera. Harris, clever where he puts the Bush Ranger Ute on approach to turn 7. Oh, Kim Jane got sent in the background. We can hear him sliding on those Yokohamas, and he's out of there. So he'll drop back 4 or 5 spots as a result. It's still on at the front. Ah, the Utes. Good to have them back.
Yeah. These guys are going to be at it all weekend, I can see. Let's hope for these guys of the Peters Motorsport, these 2 guys leading the pack, that there's not a bit of teammate action where someone comes in and says, come on, mate.
Bit of friendly fire?
Yeah, I think so.
Marcus Zakanovic will be hoping it happens. He's back in 3rd, and he's over 2 seconds behind this battle now. missed what happened between Zekanovic and Jane. I wonder if there was a helping hand sending Kim Jane out. So on the start, Bush Ranger, you'd got that initial jump. Barbera wasn't to be denied down there at turn 1.
Yeah, Ryle got a good jump, and you see sort of bogged that little bit as he got grip. So he'll look at that and go, a little bit more revs for next time so I can keep that momentum, keep that engine rev up and get some drive.
Kim Jane is such a good starter. He nearly snuck through then, just ran out of road. So this is the change for the lead. So turn 9.
Oh, good move, Ryle.
Wow.
Well done.
Just caught him napping.
Yeah, straight up the inside.
And I imagine this will be what happened to Blake Skibberus. Whoa, high and dry. Whoa.
That was quite heavy contact. It's pretty scary coming.
Watch the camera.
Straight into the camera.
Coming.
You see the impact on his head as well as he comes across. You see his helmet, visor.
Oh, man, this was a violent impact. Took a lifetime to actually get to the fence when it was out there.
Boom, watch his head across there. Oh, he'll wonder why he's got a sore neck tomorrow, but poor old camera got discarded in that.
Look at the glass shards. Is that enough to puncture a tyre if you run out wide there?
They're so strong, these utes, aren't they?
That was a nasty shunt. One more time as we say goodbye to this camera. Well, from one cam to another, what's happening in the lane?
Well, Cameron Crick's been brought back in with steering damage on there. They're also monitoring the fluid levels as well, but he is out of this race. They're about to go and park him in the paddock.
And amazingly, the guy who was in the fence and taking out that camera is currently P10 and still circulating. Hasn't even come into the pits yet. No worries. Just bounced off the wall, keep going.
Maybe he's hoping to not say anything, just press on.
Maybe they didn't notice.
Yeah, he won't get away with that one.
Shame for Cameron Crick. His dad, famous for running around in the old super trucks around here back in the day.
All right, that would have been pretty entertaining to have a big truck, and it's quite a narrow piece of road, the Winton track. So driving a truck would be definitely pretty interesting.
So Crick back in the pits, and the battle for the lead is on. Nothing in it between Harris and Barbera. This is a passing opportunity here at turn 7 if you're brave enough. Harris knows about that one. He just parks that car over. So, Crick's back in the pits, and this is why. Aggressive up the inside, trying that turn 7 move. Ordino getting into him. And 2 or 3 taps on the Plus Fitness car, really finishing the job.
Yeah, he's sort of... I'll leave that up to the stewards. If you're going to put a move on there, you've got to be right up behind, as Mason Barbera is right now.
And Zekanovic's in this now. So the teammates holding each other up with this battle.
See, Ryle's doing the right thing. You can't move. If you move to block, you can't move again. So he's smart. He goes, right, I'll move across and block, and I'll stay there, slow him up.
Oh, here we go. Barbera now up the inside. Zekanovic saw that one coming. And he might get both of them. Oh, he hits Barbera and sends him round. Off and down into the gravel goes the young Queenslander, Zekanovic. Stuck his nose in there, and Harris with more problems now. So maybe this is why he was slowing. Can Barbera get out of this? You'd love to stay in the lead lap.
Gee, it's all unfolding here. Zekanovic could be going around turn 1 and 2 now going, I'm in the lead.
The big winner out of all this could be the man who started that last lap in 4th. Matt Spratt is currently P2. The officials might have a bit of a look at what happened down there at turn 12, and if any penalties get handed out, Spratt could be the big winner out of all this.
Watch Zekanovic. He's gone up the inside. Barbera got a bad run. Oh. I'll leave that up to the stewards to work out.
And almost coincidentally, an issue for Ryle Harris right at the same time. So there was no contact with Ryle Harris in the blue and white ute. It was all these two. Zekanovic knew he had to pounce. He couldn't let Barbera get away, hence the desperation.
Well, the camera angle doesn't work well. If you were showing it from the other angle, obviously Barbera would know that he's got Zekanovic up the inside there now.
Is it far enough, though?
Well, let's just leave it up to the officials. Yep, I don't want to get any messages from some irate fan or team owner or something.
We'll put your Twitter account up on screen.
Yeah.
Send it care of. So Zakanovic leads now, 1.9 seconds ahead of Matt Spratt, who's sitting P2. Steward now inside the top 3, on for a best result. If there was any penalties to be handed out, it could really play out into the hands of the 44. Matt Spratt.
And coming back up the order again after a bit of an excursion is Kim Jane. He's coming back up. He's in P4. Who knows what else can throw up in the next few laps.
Well, he'll be pretty fired up right now. He's set the fastest lap of the race that time by Kim Jane. So tyres coming up to temp.
Zakanovic's driving around going, I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble for that.
Well, he was also involved in the Jane incident as well, so there might be a couple of investigations going on this one. Cam, can you give us any more info on this?
I can give you an update on Ryle Harris. The car went into limp mode. He had to turn it off, power cycle it back on. The car's fine now. It actually did it once yesterday during practice as well.
Ooh, okay.
Bad timing, isn't it? It's unlucky to have that. To do that, we actually saw that footage of Craig Lowndes' car at Perth where he was having his dramas.
Yeah. Here's the walking wounded. Blake Skibberus up the inside of Maxim Eriksson from Toowoomba.
Some cars that won't go into limp mode is the TCM cars that were on before. They can't use that excuse.
They don't know what electronics were back then.
That's right.
So Skibberus gets up the inside. Craig Woods debuted the Western Sydney Motorsport team in the Utes here last year. It's pretty good, actually, Craig Woods in the Utes. Now Blake Skibberus is carrying the flame for that team. Maxim Eriksson, 20-year-old from Toowoomba. Seems to be a great hub for race car drivers, that city, west of Brisbane.
Who's the most famous one from Toowoomba, you think?
Well, I think he's equal favourite to win the Indy 500 next week. All power. Oh, Jane from downtown up the inside of Steward.
He's pulled it off.
Jordan Lloyd, the inaugural Formula 4 champion from Toowoomba. Will Brown, last year's champion from Toowoomba. It's a happy hunting ground. So Jane, Melbourne boy, used to run at the Thunderdome back in the day. That famous Jane last name, nephew of Bob Jane. So let's just watch this one again. Big late dive, got it stuck.
He pulled it off though, he did a good job.
Hopefully didn't hurt that Yokohama tyre.
I bet you didn't think when he was when he'd been turned around the back there that he'd be sitting in P3 at this stage of the race. And look, we don't know what's going to happen with Marcus Zakanovic. He's hoping that he's not going to get penalised for those couple of incidents. So let's see how he fares after that.
Meanwhile, Barbera is ripping back through the pack, setting the fastest lap of the race. This is now Mick Cedars and Tony Ordino. So Tony Ordino was involved with that skirmish with Cam Crick. So a couple of newbies.
You see Cedars there looking up into his mirror. It's a bit of a trap to fall into because you want to keep an eye on what the guy's doing behind you, but it's so easy to make a mistake. When you're in your mirrors when someone's behind you, it's so easy just to run off and overshoot your braking marker or carry too much entry speed into the corner. But remember, you've got to cover a little bit under brakes, but you've got to get a good exit out so that gives you some relief. And maybe that's what he needed.
Yeah, that'll let him breathe for another lap.
So Michael's sitting in 5th. He's looking pretty good at the moment. He hasn't been in this category, of course, for very long. Nicknamed the Mullet.
Yep. Oh, Dino's going wide. He was taking the Blake Skibberus high line then. Got away with it. I think Skibberus pushed that wall back about a foot, which probably helped him then.
I can't believe that thing's still going.
Welcome to the Utes.
He had a massive contact into the fence, and he's just grabbed a gear and shook himself off and kept going.
Now this could be big. The Ward demolition ute goes off and Jane around the outside. Now why that's big, Jane then sends it off, is because if a penalty comes for Zakanovic at the end of this race, that could be the race for the lead, that battle. I'm speaking in hypotheticals, but you never really know what might happen after this race with any investigation. The door opened then for Kim Jane. He couldn't quite walk through it. He also hit that piece of bodywork there. So turn 5.
Oh, through. There's some big gutters out there. Obviously, a few. Well, yeah. Most cars during most sessions have had an off around that section of the track because it was just so slippery yesterday. Kim Jane will be kicking himself.
That could have been the opportunity. Zekanovic still leads the way. His lead now a comfortable 5 seconds. Nothing's popped up on our screen in terms of investigations.
He's got a good gap, so he's not under pressure. He's still pressing on though. He's done the best lap himself, but the fast man was Barbera. He's done a 36.6, and he's trying to come back through. Obviously, he did well to get out of the gravel trap earlier, and I'm not sure what the investigation will be between him and Marcus Zekanovic.
Well, we can confirm that there will be a post-race investigation into that, so it sits in the hands of the officials. They'll look at the data, they'll look at the video, they'll make a call on what they've seen.
So here's the thing, if you're leading the race, you don't want to roll off, because if you get a time penalty, that will be done post-race. You want to press on, get as much gap as you can to make sure that you minimise any damage, because he may potentially get handed a few seconds penalty.
It's Rod Dawson, the man in the back of that shot then, who will be making these calls later on. That lead now 5.7 seconds. Blake Skipper is trying to keep pushing through the field.
Geez, there's going to be some busy panel beater slash crew after this race. A slide hammer would be one thing that is in their toolbox, and equipment. But they take a beating, as we've seen. You don't usually hit a fence that hard and keep going. So very, very tough, these V8 utes.
This thing's just battling on, isn't it? The lap times are still okay for Blake Skipper, so he's now approaching Ordino and potentially going to put a move on him. Here's the race leader now starting his final lap. Marcus Zekanovic, the action towing entry. You can hear that understeer, the Yokohama tyres skipping along the racetrack. We go back to Skipper, it's Ordino. He's been reeling him in, lap out. And now Barbera with them as well. So got a very fired up Mason Barbera, who'll be thinking he might be able to pick up some more points here.
Absolutely. He's coming quick too. He's going to want to make on any move he can in the last lap.
Oh yeah, there's the rev limiter on the chip. Did a really good job to get that thing pulled out of the gravel without losing a lap and actually getting back into this battle. This could be a 4-car battle by the end of this race. Half a lap to go.
If there's a gap, Mason Barbera will find it.
And this is the other battle. So this is the fight for second. If there is a post-race penalty handed out to Zekanovic, this could be for the win.
Kim Jane is going to throw a move on. He's definitely going to have a look. He's got a good run out.
Here goes Barbera. So we've got about 3 or 4 battles going on in the last lap. Skipper gets out of that one. He was quite generous, actually.
Yeah.
So first to the finish line. The 2006 champ is back. Will he keep the race win? And Jane gets him in the background.
Nice move. I knew it was brewing.
Last corner. Could that be for the race victory? Kim Jane, a winner here last year. Home for second with a big question mark over this one.
Yeah.
Post-race investigation which affects or could possibly affect this man who wins the race. And that is race win potentially number 14 for Marcus Zekanovic. He sits 10th on the all-time winners list of the Utes. Goes to show you how good he was back in the heyday for him in this category. So Jane, was this an over-under?
Yeah, great move. He's positioned himself.
Oh, that's textbook stuff.
Yeah, he's such a great campaigner, Kim. He knows these Utes back to front. And he's been driving them, obviously, for quite some time. And great move. He had to execute it, and he did it very well.
Didn't even touch him either. That was just clean as a whistle. Marcus Zekanovic winning the race with a question mark ahead of Kim Jane second. Matt Spratt, the Kiwi, fabulous effort from him. So too Kevin Stoopman. Best results for he and Cedars. Ordino up there as well. Barbera climbed back up to 7th in what was a very exciting race for the Utes. Cameron Crick, unfortunately, not getting to finish that one.